Good morning, guys, and welcome down to Livewire. Uh, Welcome down to Livewire. It's the 28th, and we're quickly approaching that 31st, heading into the 1st of the January 2024, and we're making our way down to that New Year celebration time. In the meantime, we're here with Livewire as normal, keeping you informed, keeping you up to date with what's happening around the country, more so in those areas that matter. Linden, Georgetown, New Amsterdam, those major townships. Today on the program, I have one of the councillors from the Mayor and City Council of Georgetown, uh, Councillor Stephen Jacobs, who will be talking to us about what's been happening in his constituency, what's happening around the council table. I've been telling y'all, I've been going to these statutory meetings, and I'll be honest, a lot of the times I think a lot of time is wasted. And one of the things I heard yesterday that jumped out at me, and I'm glad that I got Councillor Jacobs to come on the program. He got up and he spoke yesterday to not being a bandwagonist, right? Now, let me break it down for you. So he spoke about not joining the bandwagon in cussing the admin of City Hall. Rather, let us put our minds together to find solution to problems, find income, find revenue, to do all these things we're saying we want to do, right? Too often, I think around the table, blame is thrown on admin or councillors or the mayor or the deputy mayor, and the collective, the mayor and city council, they're or some parts are not working towards the goal of making Georgetown better, doing the job they were elected to. So we'll be talking to Councillor Jacobs today, this morning. But before we get into that, I want to give a quick shout out to all the persons joining us on the live already. To Courdel Lal, Ganesh Bharat, morning to you, joining us from Queens, New York. Stephanie Renata Nelson Moore, good morning to you. I'm glad that you're here. Stephanie was one of the activists that ran in the Mocha Arcadia area and is still doing a lot of work in these communities. So, like Mr. Jacobs, she was a candidate for the LGE. And like Mr. Jacobs, she's still effecting change in her community with the limited resources that she has. She's not even a councillor on the NDC. You understand me? And a lot of the things that you see happening in these communities, it's through representation from people like Mr. Jacobs, Councillor Isfiani, Don Singh, Patricia Chase Green, oh gosh, Dion Young, and the group. They make representation and they're effecting change in their communities, right? Mohammed Yusuf, morning to you. Lynette Cornelius, Rennie Passad, Omar Sharif joining us from NYC, Chandra Mangar, Krista Kur Passad, Maureen Razio, Aliyah Mohammed, Leroy Mangal joining us from NYC, Brianna Juman, Aliyah Mohammed, Pam Singh, what's going on with the garden? Sherwin Siram, morning to you. Danielle, Prasad Patti, good morning to you. Lynette Cornelius, again, a shouting you out. Zaza Ali, Mohammed Razak, morning to you, brother. The first time I'm seeing you on the live. Thank you for being here. Mohan Ramrup, good morning to you. Ajay Chatterpal joining us all the way from Canada. Canada Bartico. Ajay, sending you overseas, by. Wazim, morning to you. Derek, morning. Sally Jones, good morning. Who else we got here? Keith Adams, Councillor Alfonso Diarmas on the live. Cecil Rampasad, morning to everybody. Tony Gangadin, Rowena Lal, Asif Mohammed, Keith Benjamin. What? Anyway, without further ado, let me welcome Councillor Jacobs on screen. Good morning to you, Councillor.
Morning, Courdel. How are you, buddy? Thanks for having me.
Bro, listen, uh, let me respond to the how are you. I was drained yesterday. Every time I go to council meeting, every bit of energy is sucked out of me, and I'm not even involved in the debate. You understand
I
me?
Yeah, I would understand. I've been there for a couple months now, and I was just, for the first part of it, just sitting there listening to people just go back and forth, and then at the end of the day, get nothing done. And
Nothing.
I'm not someone who likes to be in a place that we can't get anything done. So, I think it's time for action and less talking.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things, another thing that you mentioned yesterday that I want to talk about right away. Yesterday you spoke about leadership, and you spoke about the captain of the ship, a captain of a team, right? Um, in your view, I think this is the first time I'm actually having you on the program. The leadership at the city council level, is it there to move both PNC and PPP councils forward for the betterment of the city? Do you see that kind of leadership?
Courdel, if I'm honest with you, I'm not seeing it. Listen, I've played sport for many years. And when you're the captain, like I mentioned yesterday, you have to take the lead. You have to lead by example. And when you look at President Irfan in terms of how he operates, you see him on ground. You see him sleeping at the borders. This is the type of leadership we want,
Right,
right? Once we have that type of leadership, the admin will follow, the councillors will follow, the citizens will follow. It's a trickle effect, as simple as that. It has
right,
to start from the top, and we need to stop blaming admin all the time. It has to start from the top. It has to be a hands-on approach.
right. No, no. Several weeks ago, about a month ago, I saw you at the kitty market at the back, where they used to have the abattoir for kitty, the kitty market itself. Also, you were on the ground talking with residents of Kitty, well, your constituency. I guess finding out what they want to see this community move forward. What was the word on the ground there?
Listen, especially in the kitty market, the vendors outside, they're fed up. They're basically fed up. When I went there, they start to complain. I mean, we're looking for revenues, but the people outside kitty market are saying to us that they're willing to pay, and we're not even collecting revenues from them. And then we argue
Wow,
about not
wow,
having revenues. And then what I end up in a number of streets, because this is what I like to do. I like to go out and meet people and hear from them.
right,
What they want to see, what changes they want, right? And we know the general thing about drainage and so forth. So what I did, I tried to shy away from that a little bit more. But we spoke of development of the youths, and henceforth we advocated for the farm ground. And
mm,
you see how that is materializing right now. We're going to bring
right,
back the
yeah,
Northern Rangers Football Club, where the youths from all in constituency too can come to that ground. They can have a facility where they can develop their football skill, their cricket skills, and have general recreation. And this is what we want, because we obviously know with the youths, right? They have to take up the next mantle. They're the future. But
correct.
generally, Cordell, in city council, it's taking a toll. It's weighing on me, because I sit there all the time and I just hear talk, 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 talk. Nothing is time bound. And
Mm,
and you would understand, Cord, it has to be time bound. Look at the way the government operates. Look at the way the president operates. And that is why I always go back to the president. He's on ground. The highway from Mandela all the way up. It's
yeah,
time bomb. You
yeah,
see, you see the pace of work.
yeah.
And that is the type of energy we need in council.
No, it wasn't this last statutory, it was the one before. Issue was raised about a loose pipe. Hold on, I see some Spanish here in the comments. I ain't allowing these Venezuelans to come and me live with this stupidness. Just let me block this worries here. Essequibo's we own. Just putting it out
Definitely.
there in case y'all forget. Venezuelans. Essequibo belongs to us.
Every
Yes, so sorry about that. Issue was raised about was it a pipe or something leaking at the back of Kitty Market? And it was held to see if you could get somebody to come and fix it. Was that remedied as yet?
If I'm gonna say yes, I'll be lying. I'm not sure, but it
Mm.
was it was a royal run around just to find a plumber, and we have plumbers that are in. You see, this is the thing. We want something to happen, or whatever agenda they have to push, it will get done immediately. It will be brought
Ah,
forward to council and it will get done immediately. It will be a hands-on approach. But we need to have this approach around every single thing, or else we cannot get anywhere. Not just what you want to push and what you want to see happen. A little
yeah.
simple thing as fixing a pipe. Come on, man.
No,
You know,
yesterday, I heard persons talk about the solid waste department and most of the work being contracted out. Could it be a suggestion that some of these persons who are not engaged in solid waste management be seconded to other departments where there's a lack that they can fill? Is that something City Hall can do?
definitely. And I'm I was sitting there and wondering like why was this never done? We have redundant positions. We have people in the in the road section, and we do no roads. It was Public Works who did all the roads in Kingston. So we do nothing there in that section, but people are still being paid in that section. So we can then move persons all along because we all we can do is all they do actually is just sit and complain. And we can actually do these things. We can action these things and stop just complaining about it.
Yeah.
Right? But then again, Courdel, the solid waste management have limited resources. But again, if we want the truck, if we want to skip bins, we can write to the minister. We're crying all the time that we don't have revenues,
Mm.
we don't have funds, but then we can write to the minister and say, listen, we need a loan to acquire these things. But we're not thinking like that. We want to sit. And again, Courdel, if you're going to have these subcommittees that run City Hall, and then you don't, and you only have people from one side chairing these committees and also having their ideas heard, it will be a problem. Now you have councillors, Mr. Alfonso, you have Don Singh, you have Patricia Chase, people with experience, people who can bring ideas, and let's figure this thing out. But no, it seems like it's just for a hold on things, which makes no
Mm.
sense. We're gonna hurt the citizens.
So I was coming to that. We heard a lot of talk yesterday about working together, and I heard, I think it was Councillor Garraway who claimed it's the local government commission fault and all this other stuff. A bunch of stuff. Y'all check the live if y'all wanna listen. Um, you just mentioned, even on some of the committees, it's not even, I think it's what, 5 persons on the committee?
They have committees that have 7 persons on
But
them and
I'm
five.
talking about the balance. So even if you have one more PNC person than a PVP, it's just one PVP person and the rest are PNC councillors.
Yes.
So
So on the
how does that
city,
put forward
exactly.
being bipartisan and willing to work together?
And then Cordell, I sit in the city work. I sit on the city works committee. I sit in the IT committee. I'm actually one of those councillors from the PP side that has the opportunity to be on 2 committees. We
Wow.
have Mr. Joella who's on the market committee and Alfonso who's on the IT, and I think that's about it.
Hmm.
But then we're gonna sit there and then we're gonna say, listen, we're gonna speak to the president and speak to the one Guyana mantra. How can you be sitting and speaking about one Guyana and derailing it, and then you sit and on your committees and then don't involve? That's hypocritical. Like I really don't understand
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I denounce that all the time.
Yeah. And like I was mentioning just now, They talk about or put over this picture that the local government commission is not working with them,
Yeah.
and but it's the same exact thing that you are claiming you're doing at the council level.
So
You understand me?
it makes no sense, Courdel. And Courdel, listen, like I mentioned today, you make proper representation, you make proper proposals, and you take it in. Stop with this slam dash thing. Make proper proposals. Have the budget in order from November. Put together what you want the government to help you with, because, Courdel, at the clinics now in
Mm,
council, the minister, under the minister of health, Mr. Frank Anthony, helped us in terms of providing the necessary supplies to us to carry
yeah,
out the functions at the clinic.
yeah,
Do we
yeah.
hear that mentioned?
No, they're not gonna tell you
And
that.
NDIA provides fuel at the cokers for the general. Do they mention that? And then they say that government don't help. Stop
Stifle from
lying.
resources. No resources. That's the
No,
cry.
make proper representation and proposals. Make sure when you come clean and you have all the information. Simple.
Right, right, right.
Because they are willing to work. No one wants to see the city goes down, please. So let them stop saying that. Let
No,
them stop saying that.
I've been to 3 statutory meetings so far, and last night when they had their social, I ran into your colleague counselor, Travis Ellis, I think is his name. Is it Ellis?
Yeah.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
So I said to him, I've been here for 3 consecutive statutory meetings, and I've not heard you utter a single word in terms of representing the area that voted for you. And this is the same thing with quite a few councillors on the PNC side. They're there, but you have a certain set who keep reiterating points that were made already. Take, for instance, we have Mr. Councillor Fraser, Councillor Hines, Councillor Saul. And I think this ties up the time that you guys have to move on to other things and deal with important matters. So Councillor Fraser will get up and say something. Councillor Saul gets up and say the exact same thing, but just rephrase it. Then Councillor Hines can get up and say the same thing in the same words. I mean, do you think some of these persons who have been around the council for some time need to move on and allow a younger breed to take over? Could that be the problem?
Listen, you're absolutely correct. And now you understand why we start at 2 and finish at 7. Because we go wrong in circles all the time and come back to the same thing. They have some young counselors who are willing to work for change, willing to work for the development of the citizens.
Yeah,
And like you mentioned, sometimes it's good to do away with these people who've been there all the time and we're not seeing any change. You
right.
come and you stand and you argue on the same point all the time, and then you end up with zero change. But then you have some counselors who actually want, and let me tell you something, Courdel. I've saw on a number of occasions that these same counselors signal to the other counselors from the other side to sit down. Don't say
Wow.
anything. Now, how can these people be taking up a seat and be sitting there and not having a chance to express themselves?
Yeah,
And you can see it doesn't happen on our side because we have a voice, and that is the reason why we're there. Not just for a vote, to have a voice for our constituency and a
yeah,
voice for the development of the entire Georgetown.
yeah,
And that
yeah.
is what we're there for. And that's what we'll continue to work for. So I'm saying it's time for some fresh blood. But at the same time, you're gonna have 1 and 2 experienced persons who can guide us along and have it. And even this Courdel, imagine we haven't had an orientation just yet so that you could understand
Right,
how we're
right. The
operating.
protocol. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So I mean, we definitely need some changes
Council
there.
Chase Green spoke to me about that at length. It's has never happened before, and she is quite surprised that these new councillors haven't had an orientation session. They don't know what the council assets are, anything of the sort. Now, at the last, not the second to last statutory, not the one yesterday, we saw the town clerk having to take a stance in terms of personal attacks on the admin staff. Um, some could view this as demoralizing to the admin staff who have to implement your plans and policies as a council. Um, do you think some members of the council need to take a different stance when dealing with the admin body of the council?
Courdel, it's very much obvious. We stand there, we bash them, we call them all sorts. Well, not we. We bash them, we call them all sorts of names. Now, how can you expect these people will go out and execute what they have to in the right frame of mind? Like I mentioned yesterday, being the captain of the ship, you need to understand the people that you're working with. If you're at office all day, have interactions with these people, see what are their likes and dislikes, and you can get the best out of them. It's
Right.
simple. It's simple management skills. Now, if you don't have that, then you continue to bash them. And then you stand and you argue all the time with each other. Now, how can they respect us? How can we ask them to get the work done?
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to take a different approach, and that is what I said yesterday. But mind you, Courdel, when their hands were in Tiger's mouth just last week, we so love the admin. We so love them. 6.5, retroactive, bonus.
Yeah.
We so love them last week. And
Yeah.
mentioning
Yeah.
that they believe in increase. But then you come the following week and it starts, it's back again. Now, please, take a different approach, because you're doing one thing over and over and you're not getting results.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take a
Yeah.
different approach. It's as simple as that.
But I mean, as a councillor who came from the previous council, the sitting mayor, he understands that that approach doesn't work, right? Even yesterday, there was something about a cease work order going out, and you could see the tension between the admin staff and the council. You understand? Just the interaction. So how are these two bodies expected to bring about any change in the city working together? You understand? No, NIS, that seems to be a very ticklish issue at the council there. Based on what you know as a councillor as of now, what's going on with that?
So that's another story, Courdel. I would probably have to have my guy who's on the finance committee speak about that a little bit more, because he still
Oh
have to
my.
enlighten me some more. That's Mr. Don Singh. He's the guy with the numbers, but that's a ticklish situation. But I'm gonna allow him to speak on that whenever you have the opportunity with him.
Well, at least from what I heard, the NIS is refusing to waiver any of the interest. So currently, what the council is paying to NIS is not going towards the NIS, but going towards the
Interest.
arrears,
Yeah.
the interest that is owed. So
Yeah.
that's the current situation there.
Yeah, and it's not that alone. You even look at PAY. You even look at PAY that we haven't been paying for quite a while.
Uh,
And then, Cordell, when, like I said just now, when our hands were in Tiger's mouth, we found money for all kind of increases and retroactive. So if you so love these admin people at the time, why not have the PAY up to date? Why not have
yeah,
the NIS up to date and all these things? So, sometimes it's just all talking to cover a situation and then look good in the media. Look
yeah,
good in the
yeah.
media, right? So
You
it's
were talking
frustrating at the
earlier.
moment.
You were speaking earlier about getting some of these grounds back up and running, relaunching of these football teams to get these youths involved. Tell us a little more about that. And what are some of your plans? Well, plans that you hope to have the council adopt for the new year.
Plans I hope coming out of council, you mentioned.
You hope to have the council adopt. Hopefully.
Um, Mr. Courdel, let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. Everything I advocate for, it's I take it upstairs. I take it to the ministers. I plead with
Yeah.
them. So I'm going to just give you a simple situation here. We know Miss Fong. Miss Fong has been responsible for the development of a lot of people in this country, entire country,
Yep.
me included. She called me after she recognized that I am the council in our constituency. She had an issue for years of flooding. Just a simple culvert. Just a simple culvert. I reached out to the engineer at council. He sent one person to me, and that one person come with something to poke and remove what was there. No, that wasn't the fix. That wasn't the fix. So again, you don't have the resources, personnel. So how are you going to execute? So what I did, Courdel, I engaged Public Works, I engaged Mrs. Samad, and now you have a new tube there, and you have water flowing consistently there. So that is what I do, Courdel. I engage
Yeah.
the ministers. Because if I engage there, it will be a back and forth. So what I want to do heading into 2024 is to have a maintenance plan for drainage for the entire constituency number 2. Start with my constituency. And dish that out to the minister of Public Works. Because that is what I have to do. I cannot be at this level anymore and figure I can get things done. Just like what we did at Farnham Ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we're doing there in terms of resurfacing, in terms of fixing that fence, in terms of changing signage there, in terms of a whole lift on how Farnham Ground is. And then engaging the youths and bringing them out for fun days, bringing them out to meet and be together. And then what I don't want to let too much out of the bag, but what we have in plans is also a block making sort of project for the youths of North Kitty, so that we can have them there doing something constructive, and we tie it in we tie it into housing with all of these projects and the serious construction boom. It goes from there straight to a contractor. And this is the type of thinking we need right through the constituencies. And we are going to do it from our side, the PP Councillor side, so that we can bring that type of prosperity to everybody. Because like the ministers, we have a job to do. And this is where we have to start doing it. So again, I'm not going to let too much out of the bag, but from a councillor's point of view, what I'm going to push there and advocate for is for us to generate more revenues. And I'm going to continue to push the captain of the ship, the mayor, and the other councillors who have the majority vote in the committees. We're going to highlight the issues that we want to see fixed, and we're going to push them and keep them time bounded.
Yeah. No, I mean, hypothetically speaking, God forbid, let's say you are a PNC councillor. Jesus Christ. God forbid. I mean, how would you feel you're sitting there and in your constituency, persons who are activists, they lose to you coming and making change? So let's put you aside as a winning councillor in your area. Let's look at Lane Avenue, where the slim short lady is from, or she represents that area, right? So we got roads going in Sideline Dam, Lane Avenue Road do over. Oh gosh, the rehabilitation for the homes there on Lane Avenue.
Yeah, massive projects. Yes.
Sophia getting community roads
All
because
boys
all
town.
over the place. All boys town, councillor. How would you feel that these areas that voted for you and you cannot affect any change in them, how are these people coming to the meeting showing the face, councillor? I don't understand it.
I think on their side sometimes, it's very embarrassing. Because when they were in government, you saw none of this. You saw no active work, and come on. And Courdel, you can see the direct movement from the councillors. You can see the connection to the ministers. You can see the connection to the president, the vice president. You can see the connection. It's an open door, so
Yeah.
we can go and advocate for change for our communities. It's wide open, and you're seeing it. You're seeing the transformation. And let me tell you something, Courdel. In 2024, it will be an even rapid change in Georgetown. And I want people to understand and see it. When you see change, you need to stick with change. And
Yeah.
when you see development and you see prosperity, you need to stick with prosperity.
Just yesterday, I was saying on this program that you cannot find a pothole in this city. Right now, in Georgetown, you'd be hard pressed to find a pothole. You hear me? Most of the roads have been redone. And with a hard little cracks and thing, they did it. The public works, they did it. You understand me? Yesterday, the mayor said, I saw public works do up these roads. We don't have money to do that. But you're not putting forward any idea to generate any income to eventually take over this responsibility. You
And,
understand me?
and that is what I'm talking about. If you remember, Mr. Councillor Don Singh mentioned something that really makes sense.
And they
And the
play like they don't
development,
understand.
yes, the development and the rate in which we're developing will outgrow the council.
Exactly.
Soon we won't have the resources, and when I say resources, the human resources also to just manage the city. It's outgrowing
Exactly.
us. When you look at
Exactly.
the garbage
Oh, yeah.
alone, because you have a whole bunch of business now opening, and people are getting more funds, so they will buy more, they will invest more, and you see. Look, I, I I didn't really want to touch on that 6.5 the increase, but a lot of people who mentioned that 6.5 wasn't enough, they're lying.
Right.
They've been
Right.
shopping for about 3 weeks straight, and they're still shopping.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought Regent Street would have been empty. How people talking about it? 6.5.
No,
You
the garbage
understand
is,
me?
yeah.
And your boy yesterday mentioning the 6.5, like, is he give it? You understand me? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
we pay up the 6.5 and we give it the bonus too. But I said, well, look at you. Look at you, Mr. Mayor.
we all listen, and then here was the thing, Courdel. They blame government. Let government make provision to pass it down to the municipalities. Now, how in God heaven names we doing that? You
Man,
pay them. You generate the revenue to pay them. What are you talking about? And then they blame government for everything. But then,
oh my
like I
God.
mentioned before, you have to fix within. Sit and put the heads together and see how we can generate funds. Sometimes, Courdel, I really think that they don't have the will to do it. And without that will, we know they don't have a way. Please.
I would say there's a will, but they're not willing to do it. You understand me? Because everybody got a brain, counselor. And if I see a situation going bad, I can say, okay, this is going bad. What do I do to remedy this so it can go good? You understand me? Everybody got a brain. Everybody. But they are just not willing to do it because this is my opinion. If City Hall functions properly, along with whatever help from government, those PNC councillors feel that the government will get all the praise and they're gonna look good. So it's best we keep the capital city in a certain way, and we can blame the government and flooding and bad road and carpeting clean and garbage and collect, and we gonna blame the government for everything rather than finding a solution to it. You understand?
Mhm. But
Yesterday, Paul
go
Joseph,
ahead.
just a second, counselor. Paul Joseph, I just want to say to you, brother, um, Councillor Chase Green and Councillor Ashby just yesterday told me that the team is coming to do some work on that bridge that you raised a couple of programs ago. So between this week and next week, we can see some action on the bridge, Paul. Go ahead, Councillor.
Listen, Courdel, and I always go back to sports because sports taught me so much, taught me life lessons. Effort always beats talent. Always. You can have these persons in position, but if they're not willing to put in the mileage, the hard work, you can have all of these ideas, but if you do not meet it with the effort, and that is why I always make mention to the president, look at the effort. You can have all these wonderful ideas. You have to put your shoulders to the wheel. That is the only way you'll get things done. You have to be there grinding and putting in the extra hours. And I don't think that is what they're willing to do. You have to do it.
One of the things that upset me yesterday after the meeting, there was a social organized. I think the admin would have, organized and decorated and that kind of thing. And I heard some of the councillors on the PNC side come and, what's this? We don't drink this cheap thing. What's this? Move this way from here. And I thought it was so ghetto behavior. You understand me? Now the admin trying to do something to foster camaraderie between councillors and admin staff. And that is your response. You understand? I want to call the councillors them name. Cause I mean not hear them. I would do it, but I can do it. Because you're a good man and I can do it on a program when you're in there. But in all goodness, Councillor Jacobs, how petty can you be? You understand me? How you spend a cent. You come to the people event and talking about cheap thing and what this and what that, and you have accomplished nothing during that council sitting for that admin to action to make the city better in any way, generate the money that the admin spending on the event to get it back. Nothing you won't come up with, brother. Nothing at all.
Courdel is the level of thinking, and no, Courdel. It's appalling sometimes, the level of thinking. You know, we got to do better for our citizens, Courdel. We definitely need to do better for our citizens. Stop this back and forth and blaming this person, blaming government, blaming this. This can be done. This can be done with the right set of effort and energy. No, something as small as a drink. Come on, man. Just be there, have a good time, mix, mingle. Share some ideas and see how we can move this thing forward. That is all that I'm pleading for.
Yeah, I hope you get it, brother. I hope you get it. I can listen. If wishes were horses, that's all I can say in relation to that. You understand me? Yesterday we heard about a task force. Share your thoughts on that.
Well, it's an excellent idea coming. It was derived from what Dancing said, Councillor Dancing, and it makes a lot of sense. We need to open and engage more people, and again, I go back to government. That is why they engage the people in the communities. They go and meet them because you have to hear from them. You have to listen to them because they're on ground all the time, so that you can come up with new ideas, you can hear their needs, and then you can meet them. So this task force will have an array of persons, being from the private sector, being from council, being from members of the communities, so that you listen to them and understand what are their needs. And then you plan futuristically. And that again came from Mr. Don Singh.
Yeah.
And again, that is showing you that you have the people that have these ideas, but we need to make sure that they are part of these committees so they can share those ideas, so they can come with new and innovative things to transform this place, because that is our main goal.
Yeah. Counselor, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for being here on the program with us. I got a few more things I want to touch on, but like I said, I don't want to tarnish your character because I
Yeah.
just start using.
All
But
right. Fair
thank you
enough.
for being here. Thank you for putting forward your effort there at the Mayor and City Council. And we could only hope that things get better in 2024. Now, as you continue, before you go, if you'd like to say anything to the viewers, probably send out some New Year's greetings or something, you have the floor.
Courdel, I just want to say thank you for having me. It's been a really good opportunity to share my thoughts on council and also, some of the ideas that I have going forward.
Mhm.
That I have and also we have on our side in terms of development for the entire Georgetown. What I can say that you can expect some serious development come 2024 in the whole of Georgetown coming from the government standpoint. This
Right.
was set to us and this is what we will act on. um, Having said that, I'd like to wish all the counselors a happy new year, and also everybody that they're listening to your program right now. A happy and prosperous new year, and let's continue to fight the good fight in terms of providing for our citizens and
Mhm.
providing prosperity to all of our citizens, not just in Georgetown, for the whole of Guyana. And I'll leave and I'll take my leave by saying Essequibo belongs to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's Councillor Stephen Jacobs representing constituency number 2 and sharing his experiences at the council so far. And I mean, vibrant young man, businessman, former West Indies cricketer, national player. And you can hear his frustration. Now, there's somebody who had to deal with coaches, who got to deal with staff, who got to deal with so many different types of people. And you can imagine a young man like that could say, but I sitting down here and I feel like we ain't accomplishing nothing. A wasting time from 2 to 7 every statutory. You understand me? We need more people like Mr. Jacobs on council, people who are interested in development and not party lines. Whilst there are party lines and people have their choice, you can see from the councillors on the PVP side that they are looking to develop the capital city, despite if they won in that area or not. Right? That is their goal, to develop the capital city. You see PVPC councillors at City Hall pushing for camaraderie between admin and council. If you all look at the live yesterday, it's like cat and dog between the two. Because like PLC councillors have an issue with every head of department at the admin level. I'm so happy to come off of the town clerk's case. You understand? Very articulate young lady, functioning in the capacity as town clerk. Mind you, Afro Guyanese, who did they fighting down? Right? So you would believe Miss Nelson was somebody come from Helbeck that got the town clerk work. But Miss Nelson, who is Afro Guyanese, is being fought down or was being fought down by the Afro Guyanese party, the party that championing the rights of Afro Guyanese, and Afro Guyanese must benefit, and Afro Guyanese must get the jobs, and Afro Guyanese, Afro Guyanese, Afro Guyanese. Not just Guyanese, but Afro Guyanese. Now you have a Afro Guyanese, one, two, female, two, qualified. What's the issue? You understand? And that goes to show you the love they have for Afro Guyanese, right? The same young lady I was talking about, the counselor who is in charge of the Lane Avenue area there, ain't do nothing for them people up to now. You go through Lane Avenue today and say, hey, when last you see your counselor? Or where your counselor come in and do for you lately? You're not going to get that. Good morning.
Good morning, Jones.
Morning.
This Jones.
Yes, you're live.
I would like to hats off to Jones. What you doing, man? This is very good. Every morning is this tea program.
Thanks for the support, brother.
Yeah, every morning I just sit on here having my breakfast and I was listening to you, and you just wonderful program, wonderful.
Thank you for the support. Keep tuned in, right? And make sure you share.
My name is Harry Chan.
All right, Harry.
From Iflot.
What? You on the west side like this, like Courdel, too, man?
Oh, you on the west side too?
Yeah, man. He's the planting walk side.
I forget for because I.
Yeah.
That's really put me life in the day, man.
I'm glad I could raise the spirits, brother. All the best to the new year.
Thank you, too.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye.
Vishal, morning, brother.
Morning, my friend. How are you doing?
Not too bad, you know. I'm trying to recover from City Hall statutory.
But City Hall, I don't know with these people purpose. I mean, the PNC control of City Hall has been very much unproductive and, what would I say, visionless for almost more than 50-something years since the controlling Georgetown.
Indeed.
Most of the work that is being done in Georgetown into structural work, you call it enhancement work.
Yeah.
It's being done by central government. I think recently the First Lady has played a instrumental role.
She was by
Georgetown.
Yes, right? Brother.
It's supposed to be the responsibility of City Hall. But I don't know if you could recollect. This is how visionary, this is how visionless, right? And baseless the entire echelon of the APNU ASPR. Could you remember when the APNU government took power, or FLAPNU government took power in 2015? There was a council meeting in one of those NDC in Bordeaux, and the majority, or I guess the APNU ASC councillors were constantly echoing whenever there's a statutory meeting.
That normal thing.
The childish behavior of these people.
Normal thing, brother.
These people have no vision, brethren. Now, another point. The amount of money I saw spent from last week, Monday, to Christmas, is more than the 6.5%. I know it's where to find the money from.
Man, listen, they got a town clerk there that knows good maths. She knows to add, subtract, and thing. So thank God for the town clerk.
FLAPNU complaining about the 6.5%, but City Hall want to give these people 5%. Could you imagine that?
And it's FLAPNU City Hall, eh?
Yeah.
Mayor City Council, FLAPNU.
Right. So it's kind of perplexing, man. It's too much of a nice word, Ola.
Vishal.
Yeah, as I was saying, right? Yeah, so I don't know what would be the outcome of FLAPNU in the next year and a half, because we got just under 2 years before the national election, right? So I don't know what the result would look like in 2025. I'm absolutely sure that they will not get 217,000 votes like they would have lucky again in at the 2020 polls.
Yeah,
I am absolutely sure, because the majority of young Afro-Guyanese is gradually by day gravitating to the PPPC because of the ideology of the PPPC, because of the visionary projects of the PPPC, and the visionary actions of the party.
Yeah,
you understand? Because if you contrast that, 2015, a guy was telling me the APNU had to clean up a set of. I said, what mess they had to clean up compared to the mess that the PPP had to clean up in '92? We had to resuscitate a whole bankrupt economy in 1990.
I don't even listen to them arguments. Yeah, what I'm telling you? I don't even listen to them. When people tell me them kind of things, I say, okay, I walk away. Because they're stifling the conscience, brother.
Before I go, Mr. Jones, last point. Now, let me rationalize. Apnu for 23 years, PNC, Apnu, wherever the metamorphosize itself into, right? For 23 years, the subject note of these people, right, was centered around the pretext of racism against black people. So one would have started in 2015 when they took power. Instead of giving their own people, which is the majority in the public sector, 8%, and it wasn't 8% across the board.
Yeah.
Right? Some people get 2%, some people get 3%, some people get 4%. Right? It wasn't 8%. Now, the majority, 49 rich Indian businessmen received most of the contract. There's the bulk of the money. Come on, man, you're going to empower 10 Afro-Guyanese contractors, brother. Yeah?
Oh, they couldn't. They're terrible. They're
yeah?
terrible.
They empowered 10 Afro-Guyanese. We would have said, you know what, he's a try. But they didn't do nothing.
Not a thing.
So how they got the audacity for these people got a real strong love for black people by when they out of power days, when they remember black
Vishal. They couldn't even power Christopher Jones open up the barbershop, brother. But I gotta let you go. I got a couple more pints I want to make. Right?
Christopher Jones talking, you know many people in the band suppressed from getting this program funded?
Me too. I go to get a little funding for me solar business, but he didn't want it's fight dog. Bear fight dog. But Vishal. Yes, buddy. Yes. Anyway, Vishal, thanks for calling, bro. Happy New Year. Thank you, brother. Same to you. Yes, man. These people worries, waste time, nothing productive. Nothing productive. And the Afro-Guyanese that they're championing for have not seen the benefits under them. Right? Have not seen the benefits under them. Listen. I maintain the PNC had an opportunity to show this country what it could have done. The PNC had an opportunity to show Georgetown what it could have done. But you know what the PNC do to Georgetown? They give them a Royston King. Right? They had a Royston King who was more interested in the funds, the little funds that City Hall had, and new vehicle and security at house and all them thing. So City Hall can progress. And then you had a little leadership there that wasn't conducive to, but it should have been because they had the executive. They were supposed to get all the help they want. Right? And now they're turning on these persons in the positions now. You understand me? Nelson, Gasper, Lennox Gasper. Well, I ain't too sure what they're doing in New Amsterdam. But these young Afro-Guyanese, qualified Afro-Guyanese from the Afro-Guyanese party or the Afro-Guyanese party who claim to represent them, don't want them to work. You don't want them to work. Right? Anyway, guys, please don't forget today is going to be crazy. Right? We got the year-end review. So this is supposed to be a power press conference from the General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party. 2 p.m., guys. So please make sure you tune in for that. My nose gets some stuffy. I can't even talk properly anymore. Anyway, guys, so make sure you tune in at 2 for this press conference. And I'd like to thank the rest of you or the viewers that joined us today, sharing your thoughts of the program. Special thanks to Councillor Stephen Jacobs for being here. And I do hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the day as we head to 2024. Right? So as I always say, before I go, remember it's all about peace, it's all about love, and it's all about One Guyana.